I realize that there is a sector of musicians who find the video side of sharing their music annoying and overcomplicated, especially when we're probably the ones trying to do the video stuff while also trying to do the music stuff. Well, I came across a cool piece of gear that I think can streamline a lot of that process and hopefully help you focus a bit more on the music side of things. This is the OBSBOT Tail 2, and if you saw my video about the OBSBOT Tiny SE, look at the size difference between these things. But unlike the Tiny SE, the Tail 2 isn't a webcam really. I mean, you could use it in that way, but really this is a full-blown PTZ-R camera that you can use for live streaming, content creation, capturing events, giving remote lessons, tons of things. And it can even use AI to follow a subject around a studio or a stage or whatever. This video is sponsored by OBSBOT, and I also wanted to let you know that I'm officially an OBSBOT Brand Ambassador, and if any of that sounds corporate or concerning to you, trust me, it's not like that. And I actually think it's a really cool thing for the music community as a whole, and I'll explain that in a bit more detail later on in this video. Right now, I want to jump straight into the Tail 2 and explain how it works. When I say PTZ-R, what I mean is that the camera can pan, tilt, zoom, and rotate. The rotate part, I believe, is a first of its kind feature on a camera like this. You have the actual camera sensor inside of the Tail 2 that can either be set to horizontal shooting for like YouTube and TV stuff, or it can be set to vertical shooting for things like TikTok, Instagram Reels, or YouTube Shorts. The advantage here is that if you want to shoot something for short form content with a nicer camera, a lot of times we'll just shoot in 4K and crop into that 4K image, which ultimately lowers the resolution. But with the rotate feature on the Tail 2, you can easily shoot in 4K footage with the vertical orientation, allowing you to keep that high resolution and do digital zooms and crops in post without sacrificing the quality of your short form content. And speaking of zoom, the Tail 2 has a built-in 5x optical zoom, which is pretty crazy because that means that you have an impressive zoom range without having to do any sort of digital cropping to your image. But if you do need a bit more range, you also get an additional 4x digital zoom. The Tail 2 basically combines these and can give you a 12x hybrid zoom, and I'll give you a demo of what that looks like in a minute. With the Tail 2, you can shoot in up to 4K 60 FPS or 1080 120 FPS, and you can adjust all of this along with other things like focus modes, color settings, and a slew of other great features by connecting to either the OBSBOT Center software on a computer or even the OBSBOT Start software on a phone or tablet. Also, I forgot to mention one of my favorite parts about the Tail 2. You can use it completely wirelessly. It has a built-in rechargeable battery and records to an SD card, so if you want to take this on the go, you don't have to bring a bunch of other accessories with you. Though the Tail 2 really can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. You can output via HDMI, SDI, or LAN in order to integrate with more involved broadcast setups. You also get 2 USB-C ports, one for charging and the other for connecting to a computer. You also get a couple of 3.5mm audio inputs, one being a mic in and the other being a line in. It's important to note here that the Tail 2 doesn't have a built-in microphone, though in most situations which you would use this camera, you'd probably want to rely on external audio anyways. Another feature that makes this a bit of a game changer for us musicians who are trying to capture what we're doing on video without being taken away from the music itself, the Tail 2 has AI gesture recognition. So I could hold up my hand like this and it'll toggle on and off the human tracking feature. This little gesture will zoom in to a specified amount that you set in the OBSBOT software. And then you could do this little OK gesture to start and stop the recording on the Tail 2. So you could have the Tail 2 set up somewhere out of the way in your studio, turn it on, and if you want to capture something, you literally just, do the hand things. I'm going to show you a demo using the tracking features on the Tail 2, both in the studio and outside where I have a bit more space to move around, but I really quickly want to share who I think this is for because some people might find it funny that I'm mentioning the Tail 2 on a music focused channel. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that this is a must have for every single person who creates music, but here are a few use cases in which the Tail 2 would be incredibly useful. I already sort of mentioned content creation, and this is great for that. I think another one would be live streaming or really broadcasting in general. Anything from live guitar lessons, live beat making for an audience on YouTube or something like that, all the way up to a large broadcast setup which you can seamlessly add to your existing multicam setup. In those areas, there's something really cool about being able to set the camera in place and adjust the position without having to go back and forth, or even just having it follow you for a more immersive experience for your audience. I don't think that the Tail 2 is meant to replace something like my Sony camera that has an interchangeable lens, but the Tail 2 is going to save me a lot of time and headache when it comes to setting up multiple camera angles for these YouTube videos, or really just music related content creation in general. I think there's even a world where I could do live Q&As on this channel where people ask me specific questions about music gear or music theory, and I could use the Tail 2 to follow me wherever I'm at in the studio instead of having to move the camera around with me and be tethered to a USB cable. So you've seen glimpses of footage from the Tail 2 throughout this video, but now I'll switch to a demo where you can kind of get a feel for the overall quality and experience using the Tail 2. All right, so right now I have the Tail 2 just sitting down on the other side of my studio. If I put my hand up like this, it should start tracking me. And yeah, it works. If I want it to zoom in more, I should be able to just do this. And I think I see it zooming. That's cool. Okay, so I literally set the camera up on a loft very similar to the one that's right here. And it's cool because I can either have it follow me or I can just manually adjust stuff with the app on my phone. I could do the same by setting my camera up here, literally on top of one of my acoustic panels, which is kind of nuts. Now I kind of want to take it outside where there's a little bit more space to work with. Okay, this is all the way zoomed out. This is at 2. Let's jump to 5. Okay, so this right here is like the full optical zoom. This is actually quite impressive because it's zooming in all this way and it's not doing any sort of digital crop. I'm gonna go back over here, but it's still managing to track me even like way back here. Now let's see what it looks like. I don't know if you can even see where I'm at. Okay, 12 times zoom. That's kind of crazy. I'm sure you will be able to tell the slight difference between the optical zoom versus the digital hybrid zoom and the quality of the picture. All right, this is more like an 8 times zoom right here. So a little bit of the digital, a lot of the optical. I'm quite amazed at the quality of this thing. It even caught me as I was walking behind this post. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. So like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm officially an OBSBOT Brand Ambassador, and I want to make sure that we're on the same page of what that means. I'm not going to be making a bunch of videos trying to sell you these cameras, and I'm not changing anything about the way that I make these videos. Basically, becoming a brand ambassador for OBSBOT means that I'll be a more direct voice from our music community to OBSBOT regarding product improvements and things that we musicians would like to see more of in these products. It also means that I can be somebody that you can come to directly to ask questions about the OBSBOT products instead of having to dig around their website or whatever. This will still continue to be a purely music focused channel, and the reason that I agreed to become an OBSBOT BA is because I have had experience with these products, and it seems like OBSBOT is genuinely interested in giving to and hearing from our music community, and it's cool for me to have the opportunity to be a part of that. So if you're at all interested in the Tail 2, there is a link at the top of the description where you can check it out for yourself. Also, I'd love to hear any thoughts or questions you have about the Tail 2, good or bad, and as always, thanks for hanging out.